Hello and welcome to this week's video. This video is entitled Qigong and Mindfulness, and although the two can be done in very different ways, actually Qigong, the Qigong moves should be done in a very mindful way. Doing Qigong should encourage you to be mindful of your breath, of your body, of how your body's feeling, any aches and pains that you've got. And because there may be some new people watching this video, I'd like to kind of go back to the very basics. So, Qigong, what does it mean? The word translates as energy work. And the idea behind the moves is, I'm sure you'll all be familiar with the concept Qi, or internal energy. You can't really be into martial arts, and they're very common in this day and age, and not to be aware of that concept of internal energy. But the ancient Chinese, and that's where Qigong has its roots, believed that all illness was as a result of a blockage of your energy flow, or an imbalance of the type of energy in your body. If you've done these video sessions with me before, or if you've done a class with me, you will know that I sometimes do a bow in, where left hand palm up, right hand palm down, and bow, a traditional Chinese way. But actually what that is all about is about yin energy from the earth and yang energy from the sky. You're gathering in the earth, you're gathering in the sky. So the moves are not only designed to help move your energy, but to balance your energy out, make sure you've got the right sorts of energy. Now, there are different sorts of energy apart from just yin and yang, and if you really go into traditional Chinese medicine, you'll find out about wood and water and metal and fire and air. So obviously yin and yang is not the whole of it, but let's try and keep it fairly simple, shall we? But if you're interested in that, then there's plenty of books that you can go to, or you could always just PM me, I know a little bit about it. So Qi is the energy. Gong means work. And so literally what the moves are designed to do is to work your energy. Now, the most visible thing about the Qigong moves is the arm movement. So with the first movement, as you breathe in, your arms float up in front of you, and as you breathe out, they sink down, and then we do stranger things like painting rainbows. And that's probably the most obvious thing. When you mention Qigong, people think, oh, Tai Chi, oh yeah, you wave your arms around in strange ways. Well, yes, we do. But when you are practicing your Qigong at a good level, the movement of your arms shouldn't be an intention. The movement of your arms should be in response to the movement of your breath, which is moving your energy. Also to, with some of them, the movement of your waist. There are some moves, we don't normally do them in this video, in these sessions, where you do a thing called turning from the waist, which is actually quite hard to do until you practice, because that's turning from the hips, that's what we normally do. Turning from the waist is much subtler. And it is said that the benefit, that really everything in Qigong and Tai Chi comes from the movement of the waist. And you will hear me talk about engaging your core abdominal muscles. And actually the best way to think about it is that we all know we need strong heart muscles to pump the blood around our body. Your Qi resides somewhere behind where my hands are now. So if you cross your hands and put them in front of your belly button, you're actually fairly close to the seat of your Qi, according to traditional Chinese medicine. And so you need strong abdominal muscles to help pump the Qi around your body. If these muscles are weak, it's difficult to move the energy. The movement of the arms comes about because when you breathe, various muscles in your body move. If you're engaging these core abdominal muscles, then as you breathe, these expand and then contract. Think of it like a concertina, only the concertina's going that way. As you breathe in, everything opens up, and as you breathe out, it contracts down. And so if you think of it like that, you can easily see that anything going through there is going to be, you're going to pull stuff in and pump stuff out, pull stuff in and pump stuff out. Well done, that's supposed to be what's happening during your Qigong moves. The movement of the arms should be due to the movement here and the movement of the energy. And that's why I often say small is beautiful in Qigong. Because if you've been practicing regularly and you say a move like parting the clouds, whereas you breathe in, you raise your arms up, and then as you breathe out, they sweep back down. If you've been practicing regularly, that move will happen quite naturally, because as you breathe in and your abdominal muscles are so strong and your energy is so strong that they just naturally rise up to a nice high level without hunching your shoulders. One of the key tenets of Qigong is don't overstretch, work within 70% of your maximum ability. Now this goes against absolutely everything that personal trainers and exercise in today's world is all about. It's all about going for the burn, pushing yourself, you know, sort of extending your limits. Well, there may be a place for that, but not all the time. And this is one reason why Qigong is so suitable for people who aren't as physically fit as they would like to be. And just because the movements are gentle and you're not pushing yourself doesn't mean that they aren't being hugely beneficial. I've probably mentioned this before, but there was a TV programme at the back end of last year called Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. It's on the heart of the Shibashi Qigong set, exactly the one that I teach, and Zumba class. And guess what? They both had equally beneficial effects on the heart. So there you go. So in today's move set, I'm just going to lead you through the 4 moves that we normally do, and those moves are energetically balanced to fill your body up with Qi and then get it back to where it should be. I'd like you to try and focus on being as mindful as possible. So instead of actively raising your arms, I'd like you to try and simply allow your arms to move in response to your breath in your body. And really be mindful of that. Because we're going to do that, I'm actually not going to do the normal mindfulness meditation that I do at the end of this session, just to warn you. Because the standing Zen that we always do at the end is actually a period of mindfulness. So, having done that slightly long explanation, I would like to invite you to turn your phone off. Make sure that you're not going to be disturbed. If you need to, just remind yourself that you're giving yourself time to do this because you're worth it, because you care about yourself enough to give yourself some time to do something that is good for you, physically, mentally, psychologically, in all sorts of ways. Because reminding ourselves we're worth it can be very, very important. So, we'll start with the bow in. So you stand with your feet together. Sorry, I'm wearing a long dress because it's nice and light, so you can't see my feet and legs. I apologise. So feet together and bow in. Left hand palm up. Think about gathering the yin energy. Right arm palm down, gathering in the yang energy. Clasp your arms and bow. And let your hands float down by your side and step out. So your feet are a hip width apart. Make sure your feet are parallel, pointing forwards. Relax your knees slightly. Engage these core abdominal muscles. Make sure your back is straight. Make sure your neck is straight, but if your reaction to getting your neck straight is to go like that, just tuck your chin in. Make sure that the top of your head, the crown of your head is pointing up at the ceiling. Let your hands hang loosely by your side. And just get used to this position. Maybe imagine that all the weight is draining out of your arms through the fingertips. So that your arms are really loose and really light and ready to respond to whatever your body wants to do. Send your awareness down to your feet to make sure that your weight is evenly distributed, that you're not turning your ankles in or sort of turning them out slightly, so that your feet are flat on the floor. Relax your knees slightly. Maybe imagine that you're being supported by a huge balloon. It's just your backside is gently sinking into. You feel relaxed and calm and supported. Take time to get used to this position. And just breathe. And as you breathe, be mindful of your body. If you need to adjust your position a little, then that's okay. Just get the best possible position that you can. It's not about doing this perfectly, it's about doing it perfectly for you. And the more you practice it, the better you will get at it and the better your posture and stance will become. It takes regular practice. Trust me, ask my teacher. She knows how bad my posture and stance were when I first started. And then take a moment, maybe to imagine you're in a lift. This lift is a big lift. Makes you feel very safe, but it's got glass walls. And this lift looks out over the most beautiful countryside. As you look out over the countryside, you just feel so relaxed and calm. And when you're ready, with every out breath, just allow that lift to float down floor by floor. With every out breath, just allow that lift to move down one floor at a time until it reaches the ground. And then turn your arms from the shoulders so that your palms are facing backwards. And just breathe. And as you breathe, you may sense that your arms are giving a slight movement. So when you're ready, just allow them to move in response to your breath and your body. Just floating out in front of you. Floating out with the in-breath as the core muscles expand and floating down with the out-breath as they relax. You should only need the slightest of intention. Just let everything flow quite naturally. As you do this and get into this way, you may very well find that your arms naturally start to move a little bit higher with every in-breath. But don't push it. Don't force it, just allow it to happen. Be mindful of what your body wants to do. Be mindful of what your shoulders want to do. But let everything be driven by your breath. Only move your arms as far as you can manage in one gentle, easy breath. And we'll do this move twice more. In your own time, do those two moves. At the bottom, relax and let go. And maybe take a moment to just check your posture, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Again, get that sensation of weight draining out of your arms, making them long and loose and light, so that it's easy for them to respond to the movements of your body. And we'll go on to move 2, which starts the same with an in-breath with your arms floating up, and then gentle move outwards. And as you breathe out, they move back in and back down. Again, just do what you can manage in one gentle, easy breath. Really try to be aware of your chest expanding with the in-breath. Be aware of your back muscles expanding and allow that expansion to move your arms slightly outwards. Nothing forced. Nothing strained. Just doing what works for you, doing moves as big or as small as your body and your breath will allow you to do. Remember, it's not about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it perfectly for you. We'll do this move twice more, so in your own time, do 2 more repetitions of this move. Finish the move when you're ready. And at the bottom, just relax and let go. Maybe take a moment to check your stance. Check that you're still happy that you're in a good stance. And then with your next in-breath, let your arms float up. Maybe imagine you're holding a ball of energy in between your hands. That happens on the in-breath, and as you breathe out, I want you to shift your weight slightly sideways to the left and sink on the left side as your right arm uncurls. And as you breathe in, everything comes back to the centre, and then do the same on the other side. Don't hunch your shoulders. Just gently allow everything to flow. Don't push anything. Be very aware of your shoulders. Don't hunch your shoulders, just get your arms as high as you can manage without stretching or straining. We'll do one more move on each side. And then your hands meet at the top. And then as you breathe out, turn your palms out and let your arms sweep down by your side all the way to the bottom. As you breathe in, let them rise up. Don't hunch your shoulders. Be really mindful of those core abdominal muscles. Imagine that expansion in the breath, almost floating your arms up, and then as you breathe out, they just naturally sink down. Everything should be effortless as you can make it. Breathe in, let your arms float up. As you breathe out, you sweep down. The movements be really small if that's all that you can do. Just find what's comfortable for you. We'll do this move twice more. And the bottom, just relax and let go. Maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take a moment to just adjust your position if you need to. And then we're going to do our final move, balancing the chi, which is aiming at returning your chi back to your lower dantian where it should be. So get your hands out in front of you. Palms are slightly cupped. I want you to imagine that you've got a ball in front of you. So as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you feel around that ball, and then as you breathe out, imagine you try to push that ball underwater, but it keeps bouncing up. Keep this move small. Take your hands no higher than your heart. So breathe in, smooth around that ball, breathe out, you push it down. Then we'll do this move twice more. And then on the last time, as you breathe out, can you cross your hands and bring them to rest in front of your belly button? Maybe try to get the idea that you're actually pushing that ball of energy, your chi, back into your body where it needs to reside. And then I just want you to stand very still and calm and just breathe. Just allow everything to settle back to where it should be. When you're ready, let your arms float down by your side. Bring your left foot in towards your right. And we'll bow out as we bowed in. Now, I'm just going to approach the camera, take a seat for a minute. Standing Zen that is done at the end of every Qigong set is not simply an afterthought. It is actually a very important part of the whole process. Because in the Standing Zen, you allow everything to settle back. And that Standing Zen should be a very mindful part, because you are literally just focusing on your breath. With the moves, you've been moving your energy around your body. In the shortened version that we do, move 1 pulls your energy up to fill the lower dantian. Move 2 brings the energy in to your middle dantian. Move 3 fills up the upper dantian, and move 4 mixes them all about. And then with the balancing the chi, we bring it all back into the centre. And then the Standing Zen is to allow you to become centred yourself, centred and grounded. So if you're going to practice Qigong, one question that often gets asked is, well, how many repetitions should I do? Ideally, you want to do 6 to 8 repetitions of each move. I did more today. But that means 6 to 8 breaths on each move. But you also need to spend about the same amount of time, i.e. 6 to 8 breaths, on the preparation at the beginning when you are grounding yourself and getting yourself into a good stance, and on the Standing Zen at the end. So if you're doing just that shortened set that I do, which is the 4 actual moves and the balancing the chi, that's 5 actual moves. It's the preparation time at the beginning counts as a 6th move, and the Standing Zen at the end definitely counts as a 7th move. 7 8s are 56. That's 56 breaths. Maybe a few extra breaths in between each move as you just allow yourself to relax and let go and check your posture. That's something like what? 60 to 70 breaths. How long does it take you to do 70 breaths? I'll tell you now, it's not that long. Your breath rate is usually about 15 a minute, something like that. It varies a bit. So 15 times 4 is 60. 4 minutes. It's not a lot really, is it? So you can actually achieve an awful lot in a short space of time. Obviously, if you've got longer to spend doing it, then you will get more benefit. But if you've only got a short space of time, and literally all you can do is just do those 5 moves that I demonstrate in these videos, the preparation time and Standing Zen, and you're only doing 6 repetitions of each, go for it. Because as long as you do it mindfully and being very aware of your body, and obviously doing things like trying to get your body into the best possible posture, you are going to be doing yourself a huge amount of good. Anyway, the standing Zen at the end is also in many ways a short mindfulness meditation, because you're aware of your breath, you are being mindful, and really with a longer mindfulness meditation, that's really all that I'm trying to do. So that's been a little bit different. It wasn't exactly what I planned to do, but sometimes you just have to go with the flow and see what happens. I hope you found that interesting. If you've got any ideas for something that you would like me to do in a future video, you know how to contact me. If you like these videos, please feel free to share them with somebody else that you think might benefit. And if you really like these videos and think you'll benefit from more video time, then just pop on over to my Patreon page and consider sponsoring me, because it doesn't cost an awful lot. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back this time next week, approximately.